Alright, so what I am doing right now is part 2 of my tier list for 11.0.1. Alright, and where we left off last was we were about to start talking about Dr. Mario. Alright, and in our tier list, just to cover what we talked about, we were considering matchup chart, placement, and we're also considering, I guess, like I mentioned before, like possibility, where they could be in the future, by potential. And what I mean by potential is like the possibility what they could do with buffs or adjustments. I don't want to. Hopefully, they don't do nerfs. I don't want to consider nerfs because nerfs end up hurting a lot more than helping. With the entirety of the cast, so I don't want to look at nerfs. I always try to look at the positivity and help with buffs or adjustments. Adjustments being the idea of fixes. I think I gave an example with that in the last video, or gave an example in general with the sword fighter. With just some of his moves, like his forward smash, just not working. That was very strange. I don't understand fully why that didn't work, but again, I think it was a hitbox issue with the sword itself. And I wish I had the replay for that. I would upload it. Or I wish I was even streaming live or something. Because I do stream sometimes on Twitch. You know what? I think I was actually. Yeah, you know what? I think I was streaming live on Twitch. Maybe someone could find my Twitch channel if it's on there. But anyways, because I think they do either a forward smash or forward tilt or something, like I said. And with Pyra, when I was playing against like a Pyra Mather online, and I do my forward smash, and they, instead of them just clanging or clanking or anything, like it just straight up goes through. It's not even about going through my move. It's like my character wasn't even there. It's kind of strange. Like I don't see that interaction normally, ever. It's not even about damage because the me sword fighter, the forward smash, with how long I had charged it, um, I think it'd maybe be like a 2% difference maybe. So I don't know. That was kind of weird. And it happened multiple times, so it's not even just I don't know, I'm just saying with swords it's different. It's not like the same with like non-weapon smash moves. So anyways, going to Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario, I think I kind of explained what he needs. My matchup, part 1 with Ridley. What we need for Dr. Mario and what he needs in general is, I think it's going to help him, is he does need movement buffs. But I thought of a couple things that help, depending what they choose to do. If they do decide to give him movement or something, like they can help his recovery in a couple ways. They could look at it could look at effectively helping his down B have better movement in the air. They could look at giving his cape better movement in the air. They could look at getting his up special a little better, move in the air. But what they could also do in general, I thought about this and I realized this might be better, giving Dr. Mario better movement in the air in general. Maybe he'll move slower on the ground than Mario, just to have there be a difference, but just to give him better movement in the air than he does now, just so he can, not just about combos or anything, but just have a better recovery too. As far as killing and power, I think it's fine. Because he can build damage fine, he can kill fine. His back throw is a really good kill move. And if people argue like it doesn't kill early enough, I mean, you can maybe argue that for some of the heaviest characters in the cast, like Donkey Kong and Bowser, maybe, and no characters in the ultra heavyweight category. But I mean, we're talking they die at 150% at most, right? Like it's still good. And that's, they're doing perfect DI. They might live at most 180% ever. They should never be living past that unless you're on like a stage that's not tournament legal, or there's other circumstances going on that shouldn't be happening. But like extreme lag or something, we're talking offline for this. For the most part, we're trying to just be reasonable here. But the only thing I'm considering online is certain things with tournament, maybe. Or we've seen things that may translate to offline. They have nothing to do with lag. Like I mentioned, the thing with me, Sword Fighter, and Pyra, like the hitboxes, that's something that could possibly be affected offline. And I'm going to test that after this. Actually, I really should test that and make sure that's not something that was going on. Alright. Yeah, I think that's a couple things or a few things to look at with Dr. Mario buff him. I think the best thing you could do to improve and buff him would be, I think, the movement speed thing in the air. I think overall, if they did that, that would be very easy to do with him. As a buff fairy, you're adjusting some stats, basically, numbers in the animation, or whatever program they're using. And it wouldn't be the biggest adjustment players need to make, and it would help them out a lot. I think people really underestimate how much something like that means to a character like Dr. Mario. And plus, Dr. Mario is, or Mario in general, just as a character, is known as Jumpman. So being able to have him maybe not be the best grounded character, but be the best kind of, or even a decent character in the air, like jumping wise and everything, that's important. Right, so just gonna move on to the next character, but I just want to point that out, that even design-wise, it would kind of make sense. And he could still be very good on the ground, even with his just same ground speed. It's just, in the air, I think he should be a little bit bigger of not just a threat, but just be able to stand the battle longer, too. And he could do that if he has better aerial movement. And that would raise him, I think, up to just, at the very least, mid-tier, if not high mid-tier. I mean, just, because people know how to use him, and he can kill him things, and help him actually live kind of like Mario. I think he'd be around Luigi, just to be fair. But he might be a little... Yeah, I think it'd be fair to say he's around Luigi. King K. Rool. I think the main change he's going to need is... because realistically, offline, he has potential. He can do things to defend himself, and at the same time be really strong as an aggressive character. But I think what he needs, because it's not that he can't kill, it's not that he can't deal damage. It's just he struggles defending himself. So what he needs is something to either frame data wise or something to give him you know, the ability to defend himself besides just throwing a crown. And his counter's not something people should need to rely on to defend himself. And using something like a counter is always annoying for everyone to have to use to defend yourself. He needs to. I think as neutral air, we need to look at that as being a little bit more as an option, since that's what we're looking at here. Like maybe his neutral air armor. I think the point of improving the armor for maybe certain moves like neutral air, his belly armor is what I'm talking about. Might be good. Just for the sake of making sure King K. Rool is able to. We can see different play styles with King K. Rool. Is my point here. Whether someone chooses to be campy, which that's not always going to be best. Someone can clearly pick, and adapt with their character to, or choose to adapt with their character and be super aggressive against King K. Rool, which King K. Rool is going to lose that matchup if you be super campy. It's just not best to be super camp with King K. Rool. King K. Rool needs to be mobile and kind of somewhat be on the opponent to have an advantage or even keep even with the characters in the game. They can't be campy. They need to have their opponent off stage. So, with that in mind, King K. Rool, they need something with their another look at their neutral air, or maybe something for landing options. And I think their up B is fine. Because they kind of should be, punished if they misuse that. And when I say misuse that, I mean like they try to use it in ways that are foolish. They try to combo someone at the top of the stage and they use it in a manner that shouldn't work, and then they miss, and then their opponent lands first, and then they punish him. That should be perfectly fine to use against King K. Rool. Or even having his counter balanced the way it is. The only thing I have against the counter is that's him to go over his movement options too. With certain things, the counter. Now, if it's gonna be used, it needs to face the player, right, and then work. But the other thing is too, like, that's one of the other things. It's a very inconsistent counter because it doesn't work like Peach's. Like Peach, you'll hit her in the back, she'll turn around and hit you with the Toad. But his, you can hit him in the back, so it's very different. I'm not sure why there's such inconsistency. And then that's another thing I have with certain other things with their characters, like certain fighting characters. We'll get into that when we get to that, but I think some of that's just the game mechanics with how they're not fully finished or fleshed out. Yeah, just King K. Rool needs just a little something to help with the just basic landing options. Because I mean, his issue he mainly has is, uh, you know, getting. It's not just getting back to stage; it's like getting on the stage while he's above it, because he's that's his only issue. He has his main issue. Um, because when he's off stage, he's usually okay. If you know how to play with King K roll, he can just make it back just fine for the most part. Um, he can even somewhat stall for a little bit. He's okay. He's like if Donkey Kong had a better recovery. I mean, it's so. I mean, like he really actually should be maybe a little bit higher on this list, but it's just results and things. And I can't really count online too much. Um, so, anyways, that's that's the gist of it. And I'm gonna uh, move on here to keep from just digging the K roll situation. If there's anyone who wants to give other input and things on there, that's fine. Leave a comment, or we can talk or something. But the Belmonts, I kind of categorize them together because the main difference between, and I say the main difference because it's possibly the only difference. It's the only one I've really actually found after doing extensive personal research, looking at frame data and everything. There's really no difference in height or anything either, or definitely no difference in weight or anything. The only difference is with these two um, is their holy water. Richter's holy water acts kind of in his fire property, in the sense that if if you hit, for instance, the fire Pikmin can die from it, whereas that's Richter. So if Simon uses it though, however, the fire Pikmin will be okay. So I mean that's the main difference, and I forget if it's something like it's an aura, kind of like an aura or something, but it's also more like it's a physical attack. I think is why it's something like that. It's kind of strange. Kind of like how Heroes Lightning is a physical attack and not a actual projectile in the sense of like an energy projectile. So yeah, it's kind of strange. Um, yeah, that's the main difference. Um, and I say I think because I don't remember if Ness, the way you can tell if it's physical or not is because Ness and Lucas would be able to absorb the holy fire if it's not a physical projectile. Um, so it's strange. So it's just interesting. Because I know like Ness and Lucas can't absorb Hero's lightning. It's because it's a physical projectile. Because the lightning he shoots out, or what you see is lightning shoots out, is actually just casting where the lightning's going to hit you. That comes from above. So it's interesting. So I'm not sure how to full on 100% explain how they did the animations for these things. Because when you visually look at it, it's, so it's interesting. But yeah, that's the main thing with Simon Richter. I think what they need, honestly, um, I think what Simon Richter did, honestly, and they did kind of do that recently with a couple of the buffs they gave them basically they can kill. That's what they need. They just need to be able to kill. They can deal damage. That's great. Um, they can keep their opponents at bay. Well, okay, that's good. That's what they're supposed to do. And they can also space. Well, Yeah, I mean, they throw projectiles. They have a whip. They whip it. So yeah, I would say they just need to be able to finish off the opponent. I mean, it's I don't know if you've ever played Simon Richter. It's really annoying when you're hitting your opponent all day and then they just get you to like 100% kill you, and you have them at like 200 almost, or even like 120 or something. They just run up to you, hit you off the stage, and you're dead. I'm just saying, like, they need to be able to kill. Um, and they need consistency with their options too, and that will make them more competitive. So I think like their smash attacks being kill options is good, but they need to have their projectiles. Uh, like their holy water is pretty good at leading into things, but like their holy cross, which is their side B, needs to be able to lead into like their aerials a little more consistently. I'm not sure if they need to adjust frame data or what on that for their like forward air and back air, up air or what. I think like those things certainly need adjustments, because even when you angle and other things, and that's just partly because of the game mechanics too, when you're using controller or whatever, because the game just functions strangely with the controllers for some reason. I've never understood why they can't just fix it, because it's their game. They've worked on it this long. I'm sure they could fix it, almost certain, like 95% certain they could do it. It's just right now, I think their goal is to work on getting these characters out they're working on. And they're just working on what they think is essential adjustments or buffs. But I think those are kind of some essential buffs. Simon Richter need is just to be able to kill. Yeah, so that's important, is they should be able to kill. And what's going to help with that is, some of the projectiles actually get into some of the kill options, like not even just smash attacks, like the holy water. That's why people throw holy water all the time. But the cross being able to lead into forward air, back air, up airs, because those can do really good at throwing people to the top of the screen and getting killed, set up, or up B maybe at higher percents can have increased knockback. That's really cool setup too with the up Bs, and that could lead to kills. It's important, I think. And I think his back throw and forward throw should be kill throws. At around 110% at least, maybe 140% for heavy characters, and that's without perfect DI. With perfect DI, probably 160 for heavies, because you're doing all that work. You should get rewarded for it with those back throw and forward throws. That's important, I think. Because usually, even when Belmont gets them off stage, it's characters in this game, people with enough experience, even playing the game for about like at least 10 hours total of gameplay, and they've made their character. They found it. They usually know what to do to recover against a Belmont. On a competitive level, I would imagine after 30 hours, they know what to do. Yeah, so it's pretty much what I'd have to say in regards to that. Zelda. So, thing is, here's a good thing about Zelda. Zelda can kill. Zelda does have some setups and Zelda can somewhat combo. The only problem with Zelda is um, some of her stuff isn't fully consistent, or actually, a lot of her stuff isn't fully consistent. But she can play safe, and one of those things that helps her be safe is Neighbor's Love, for instance. It's one of the safest moves in the game, so that's important to know. I think what she needs though is it's kind of hard to go over what she needs because it's really very little other than maybe like this just one particular player to go nuts with her because she's kind of got most of what she needs. Because she can kill, and I think she just maybe needs more character exploration because unless there's some experts out there who can point out a couple things, and that'd be fine if they can, but she clearly needs something, I would think. She needs better landing options, but at the same time, she has it. She has her Neighbor's Love. Because the thing is, if someone ever tries to approach her or anything, she can use that as a burst option to get out of jail free card. Because she can even get out of grabs with it. Like I've tried to grab her in every patch with like a tether grab, even like a distance grab like Samus's, for instance. It doesn't work because you get iframes on it. I mean, like dodging like intangibility frames is what I mean. So they're the kind of frames like your boots won't register against that move because it's like you're not there. Um, I mean, and unless I'm wrong and they changed that for this particular patch, but I don't, you know, it's a very safe move. Yeah, that's just maybe the only thing I can think of where they might be able to buff something might be like her Den's Fire, which is her side B or something. Um, maybe her her up special maybe as far as like having less end lag or something. I'm not sure. I mean, even that the thought of that is kind of scary. Just because how potentially good she could be. I mean, if there were like, because I know what she's capable of, and I'm sure there's top players who could use her. She could be up here with like Captain Falcon and Ike and stuff. I mean, like she could. But it's just not. Just I don't think people um, utilize her as much, or to that degree. And Bayonetta, I'm just gonna move on to that. Bayonetta. The main thing that's hurt Bayonetta a lot, um, even the dedicated mains, I've noticed, uh, is the really big nerf to Witch Time. The Smash 4 Witch Time was incredibly um, had incredible high usage in Smash 4, and that's not with Bayonetta in this game. Um, there's a lot more required usage for bats within in this game, which is, you know, basically what Mithra uses for her version of bats within. Um, but you'll still take some damage, but you dodge and you can put your opponent in a bad position. So in other words, Bayonetta is meant to be a extremely aggressive character.
Um, I just don't think um, people fully found that yet, like what to do. Um, or, she's hit her spot yet with that. I think if she needs any buffs, she just needs um, certain kill options to just kill a little bit earlier, maybe like where they kill around 100, 140% in that range, depending on weight class. But again, I'm noticing Bayonetta players are having trouble building that damage without relying on tricks and stuff their opponents can easily look out for, like witch time, bats within, and stuff. And this is in regards to talking competitive. So that's why she's here. Because people are so used to looking out for things for her because of Smash 4. And it's not because the things that happen in Smash 4, the toxic things, it's just because that's what she's known for, is like witch time and trying to lure you into like traps and stuff, and you just watch out for it. And it's a lot easier to deal with in this game than Smash 4. So it's just what it is. This is where we go into regular mid tier, and that is. Alright, this is the last part of the tier list we're going to do here for today. And that is. We're going to cover Chic, which I would love if Void would give me his input on this, but I think Chic, and I feel Void's pain, Chic basically can kill with certain things, do boots and stuff. But I think Chic overall, and I hope Void agrees with this, or maybe it's another idea too, but she needs an overall damage buff. And me and some of my friends talk about this a lot too. I play her and it's frustrating, and she just needs an overall damage buff. Because they've increased the power over kill moves like smash attacks. She doesn't really have a kill throw. If they give her a kill throw, that'd be good too. I'm not sure like which one they would prefer to be a kill throw, like Chic mains. That's why I would like to hear Void's input, like if it'd be up throw or down throw or something, or I think back throw and forward throw or something would be probably better suited for combos, and same thing with maybe down throw, but or the up throw. But I think I'd rather have the up throw be a kill move, because it would seem kind of like more logical, and I would be like, okay, if I just want to kill him with a throw, just throw him up, so. But yeah, that Chic dealing more damage would make more sense. Like needles deal way too little damage. They're, I think, the weakest projectile in the game, if not contested for the weakest projectile in the game. Like, I don't. I'm trying to think of like what other. I think Fox is like contesting her for weakest projectile in the game, and that's something. And his does what, 1%? But hers do like less than 1%. So I'm just trying to say here, like. I think Joker's does more. It's not looking good for Chic. Yeah, they just need the buff for overall damage. If she gets that, she's going to be a much better character, because she's obviously going to be able to do combos and setups and all the good stuff, and that would make her go up. I think a tier or two. She was able to do more damage because she'd not only just be able to kill and do everything she needs to do, but she'd have a bigger player base. She'd be a lot of fun. I think she'd at least be around Inkling or Bowser.
maybe Pichu. I think Vote would play Pichu and her. That'd be a lot of fun. Yes, I said her because you should know who Chic is by now. If you haven't played Zelda Ocarina of Time, you should go play it. It's a lot of fun. Go buy it and play it. And that's where we go to Toon Link, which, of all links in this game, he's good, but and he's consistent, but he can kill. But of all the links, he doesn't build damage as quickly as the others. So if you really had to make a choice between all the links, you would pick Toon Link because you just like the game he's from, and that's fine. It's just if you're talking competitive, you shouldn't pick Toon Link because he's just not going to build damage as quickly. And because of, like I said, consistency and the patterns in what he does, your opponent, if they have some matchup experience with the Toon Link, they're going to know what to do, and they're going to be able to deal with Toon Link. Maybe they're not going to necessarily win every time or win every game, but they're going to be able to do okay, and it'll be frustrating for you because they know what to do against your onslaught of bomb combos and arrow stalls and everything else you can offer at them. Because it's just not as effective as it would be with Young Link, or we're talking Adult Link. And they would know the differences, of course, too, between all the other two with your moves and bombs and what they do. So it's just not going to be as effective because with what your bombs do, how your setups and combos do, they just are not going to be as effective in a competitive setting. And even that being said, though, you're still mid tier, you could still win tournaments. So it's even low tier characters here can still win tournaments, like Ridley, Cuphead, Jigglypuff, Piranha Plant, King Dedede, Kirby, and Stornor. We've seen them win tournaments. I think we've seen I'm not sure if they've won major tournaments, but I think like Ganondorf and Bowser have won locals, I think, right? So I'm just saying. And I'm not sure if any of like the Mii fighters, Sword fighters have won, or Mii brawlers have won locals, but I'm just saying it's possible. Maybe Little Mac too, I don't know. But just trying to let you know what's fact here and positive. But Mewtwo, I know there's mains like Body and others. If you're looking even matchup wise, like Mewtwo, he can kill, he can build damage, he has speed, he can recover, but he is lightweight and he's a big hitbox. So he kind of suffers from that Ridley syndrome, but at the same time, he's better off than Ridley because he can actually deal damage and kill. And he's faster than Ridley. So, I mean, it's very strange. But unfortunately, because he's a lightweight, in this game, he's very, very light. He's gonna get, he's gonna get taken out. And moments where you think he wouldn't get taken out, but it's gonna happen. And also, he's a floaty. So the thing about floaties is, although they may not get comboed and juggled real hard, kind of like how fast followers are, the problem is they get caught in other things that seem very sketchy, like for instance, K-Rool can sometimes do funny things to uh, Mewtwo, because Mewtwo's going to be trying to do a funny little land thing, and all of a sudden, K-Rool's going to throw out a bowling ball or blunderbuss ball for cover, and then Mewtwo's going to try and jump down, and or he may already be in the air. He's going to have to pick a landing option, uh, and he has to worry about that. The blunderbuss already having sent out a shot, and then he's have to be like, do I go for ledge? Do I try and go for neutral, avoid the blunderbuss ball? Well, King K. Rool in the meantime could be expecting all that, expecting him to try and reflect the ball, and then he could counter it back, and if he does that, and then he tries to reflect it back and he counters it back again, Mewtwo dies. So Mewtwo knows, or the player hopefully knows, usually they have experience, they know not to do that, and they just avoid it. And if they try and go for edge, and the King K. Rool knows to look for that and expect the counter situation, going for the ledge is not smart. So usually what they do is they go for stage. So usually in that situation, though, they're going to take damage. So what King K. Rool usually does is wait a little bit, like a second, see the reaction. So what they're going to do, if they're going to do like an air dodge or a teleport or attack, whatever, and then King K. Rool can counter with the appropriate response. And so Mewtwo takes damage. So, yeah, it's kind of just unfortunate. And a lot of characters can do that, not just King K. Rool. That's just an example. And unfortunately, it's even worse for Mewtwo if he's fighting against a sword fighter. Yeah, Mewtwo's just, he's going to have a hard time because of that. So the kind of buffs he needs are, he needs better landing options, or the landing options he does have need to be safer. I think the best thing they could do to help him is maybe do some with his neutral air. That might be best for a landing option kind of stuff. It's because clearly air dodge is not the best for him, especially when you're talking experienced players. Yeah, neutral air should be fine to look at something with that, or maybe even look at, if we're talking about kill power and other things, maybe if he really does need that, look at maybe throws, or smash attacks, but he really doesn't need that. I think they need to look at some with his hitbox and his tail needing to be fixed, like the same thing I feel with Ridley needing to fix his other stuff. Kind of get that struggle. I would look at the tail of Mewtwo and maybe even landing options with the neutral air. Olimar, Pikmin, or if you choose Ralph or any of the other characters there. I feel the kind of buff they need, if there's a buff or an adjustment, maybe they need to be able to, because I think they build damage just fine. And they can kind of defend themselves just fine with, like Whistle. I think what they need is, they need to be able to kill a little more now. They have been nerfed. But I think if they can kill a little more now, or have a little bit more consistency, they'll be able to be a little better. And I'd put them from mid tier to maybe high mid tier, at least something. But they're still good. It's just they need be a little bit better. And I think right now, maybe DeBuzz might say something that's fine, but he had more input. But I think that'd be what would help. Something to help make him more consistent with finishing off opponents. And I hope someone gives input on that too, because that'd be good. DeBuzz or someone. Let's see here. Isabel and Villager, and there's a very specific reason I did Isabel and Villager with each other. It's not just about them being above Olimar. It's kind of representation too, of like player base and stuff, and that's because DeBuzz, for the most part, too, has been playing other characters over Olimar and other, and also in Japan, Olimar still has a lot of, but I mean, there's very little difference with Isabelle and Villager as far as strategy and what you should be doing and how they should be playing in matchups and things. I'd argue Isabelle's not as bad as people think, and Isabelle, results-wise, is not as bad as they think. If you're talking actual competitive. Isabelle can actually, along with Villager too, can actually play aggressive. Or they can play passive. It depends what character they're fighting. Actually, like it's character dependent a little more than player dependent. That's kind of what I have to say about that there as far as their matchups. But I really have to say, like, as far as helping these characters out with buffs, which they did get buffs and other adjustments, which is good. It's what helped them, I think. Kind of also plays them here too. Whereas Olimar had received nerfs and had been touched for a while on some things too. Or I should say hadn't received real help. Isabelle. Well, I'm just going to say it. She does have safe ways to mess with characters, get set up, and have real kill options. I do think she does need better kill options and ways to kill earlier. Or her kill moves need to kill a little earlier too. Same thing with certain moves for Villager, because some of his things he uses to kill just are not consistent enough. If I had to argue which one kills earlier, Villager or Isabelle, I would say Villager. It just kind of gives you an idea there of what I'm talking about. Especially if we compare something like Bowling Ball versus Isabelle's Forward Smash. I mean, just if you're talking like setups, competitive scene, and everything, I would say it's all kind of different situations. But if you're talking with how different moves are handled in different situations for ledge guarding, Villager uses Bowling Ball, Isabelle uses her Fishing Rod, which makes sense. Because depending how you use the Fishing Rod, you can stage spike someone with how you throw them, or just throw them off the stage or into the air, or whatever. Villager uses the Bowling Ball to let that just do the work, and it all makes sense with the kind of stuff that being used. Or Villager even has a tree to help with other setups and get access to his axe. Yeah, but they both could use a little bit of Isabelle a little more. I think Villager, the kind of buffs he needs too, is again, it's killing. Maybe they both kind of need kill throw.
options to kind of help them. Yeah, I think Isabelle, her kill throw option should be, if it's not going to be from her regular throw, maybe it should be both, but maybe it should be from her fishing rod. Be a little bit earlier percent or earlier percents. Because she can deal damage, and so can Villager. It's about killing. So it's about them, about KOing their opponents. Now we're going to talk about the pits. And the pits, because they're supposed to be like the balanced characters, I think what they need is more consistency. They can kill. They can deal damage somewhat, but they need more consistency with their follow-ups and moves and combos and just dealing damage. And they also need, well, maybe they don't need what I was about to mention. I was saying they maybe need a better way to defend themselves, but they have that with their down B. They can kind of defend themselves with down B as a burst option. It won't, of course, defend themselves in certain matchups against players that have grabs, like burst grabs. They can grab at long range. I was going to say, like, Samus, for instance, it won't defend against their grab. They can grab at a long range, or Ridley's side B. I'm pretty sure Ridley's side B should just grab because it's a grab. Or, I'm trying to think of what his side B is called. But yeah. It also probably wouldn't work against, like, his grab either. You know, just that's the thing. But then again, I think he has other options too, like their side B too, which has armor. So I mean, as far as landing options, they should be okay for the most part. But it's dealing damage, and their kill options. They have very few realistic kill options, and I think perhaps making those kill a little earlier might help them. Like their side smash as a kill option of theirs, so is their side B. And I think it's, depending which one, or I think it's supposed to be both back throw and forward throw. One stronger for the other, depending on the other. But I think they should make it for both. And make those moves stronger. Like the smash attacks in general stronger to kill earlier. That way that'd make them go a little bit higher in the mid-tier list here. At least. Maybe even go up here a little. That way even, you know, we'd see top players playing Pit and Dark Pit, like Pyrrha and Japanese players and others, anyone who plays them, do more solid. And Marth, it's the same thing. It's not that he can't kill, it's consistency. It's my argument here is consistency. When you get a tipper, it's great. But for the thing with Martha, it's not when you get a tipper, it's if you get a tipper. That's the problem. Because you can literally hit with the tip of your sword all day, and it won't count it until it decides to. Like, I'm just not sure what's going on with this character here, what their plan is with this character. If he's supposed to be the tipper specialist or something, like he's certainly special. But there's no tipper involved either. Whoops. Yeah, so they're better off than Robin. So if they fix tippers with this character, that'd be a start for now. I'm not going to mention anything else until they do that. But yeah, the next best thing after that would be maybe make his kill throw a kill throw. I mean, that'd be it with this character. Basically, if they do that, he's going to jump up to where... he's going to jump up from here all the way to here, maybe at least. Yeah, above Lucina. In fact, it might be fair to... Yeah. Just because the tipper's that good with Marth, like, he's going to... I can literally, with tipper... kill some characters from 0% deal 30 damage and kill them. So yeah, Tipper's very good. It's just because it doesn't work. Like, he's just broken, kind of like me, Sword Fighter. But because he has a Tipper effect, like, I can't put him down by me, Sword Fighter. I can put him mid tier and that's it. I can't put him any higher. I can't really put him any lower. Like he's there. Like if they fixed him, he would be playable in tournament. He's playable in casuals, but not in tournament. Like it's not good. And he does have good matchups still. It's just he's not as broken or as flawed as other characters down here. But I'm looking at you. But Robin. My reason for the placement of Robin here is basically just results. Robin's been doing good lately. I'm not seeing anything really needs to be buffed other than maybe their kill throw and kill a little earlier. Like other than that, there's really nothing. I'm not seeing because they can break shields. There's combo stuff that can get guaranteed kills. I'm not really seeing too much. Maybe there's people who want to say like, oh, speed buff, but no, it's different. Like it's like the same thing I said with Incineroar. Like it even says literally in the game she's meant to be one of the slower moving characters, and she makes up with that with other things. So it's you're just gonna have to make do with her being slow and use other things to help out, which people do. So I would say again, killing powers we're looking at with this character. And her range. So either looking at helping with resources, buffing that stuff, or killing power is the best way to go with this character. And since I'm not a Robin expert, not that I haven't played Robin, but again, I would say right now the one thing it's not up to par is her smash attacks or special moves is her throw, her kill throw, and I would say maybe consider that. It's Lucario. I mean, the only thing I can suggest is, finishing off your opponents. Every time I play Lucario, like, it's fun and everything, but it's frustrating too because you can't finish off your opponents. Like, you can get them to like 100%, they still won't die sometimes. He's very inconsistent. Like, playing Lucario is always a losing match. Playing as Lucario is what I mean. It's highly frustrating, high risk, high adrenaline. Your opponent, like when you pick Lucario, can almost laugh at you. And you actually beat them, you can laugh at them because like you shouldn't have won. Akari was highly frustrating. He just needs to kill. That's it. Like his kill moves need to kill, or all of his moves when he has that aura and rage combination, whatever. And your opponent's at like kill percent, which is 100 or 150 depending if they're heavyweight. They need to die. They shouldn't. They just need to be dead. They shouldn't be able to live to like 200, 250%, stuff like that. After being hit with a full aura sphere or, the side special hitting with direct, he just grabs them. That all his moves are supposed to be kill moves. I think it's supposed to be like a command grab kind of thing, or surviving a counter that way. It just shouldn't be happening. I know some of that stuff's online, but I'm talking Final Destination or Battlefield. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Or I'm even talking Smashville sometimes. It just Lucario is not Lucario, or it's just embarrassment. I don't know which. But yeah, that's what he needs. Like if you're gonna add that serious kind of buff to him, then just don't make a joke of it. And then Byleth. The reason Byleth's mid tier is again, even though she's a slow moving character like she's supposed to be, Um, she has extreme killing capability and strengths and can break shields. She's like a slow moving Sephiroth. Uh, yeah. I don't really think I need to say too much on that. The only buff Violet can maybe use is like a kill throw. And if she has that, like, she'll never be lower than mid tier.
That's it. That's like the only thing I think of. If she has a kill throw, I mean, she would be at least. She'll never be anything lower than mid tier, even if she has terrible results as a competitive representative. Like if people try to make her look bad on purpose, she'll never be lower than mid tier, just because she has every kill option possible, and she has a pretty good recovery. That's hard to contest because if you try to contest it, you always have run the risk of being reverse stuck because she can spike you, pulling you down and going back up, and getting extra up B. So yeah, I mean, if she had more results and things, then I could possibly put her right here. By the computer would work with me here. Ice climbers. There we go. But she's DLC. She hasn't been out long enough for offline and anything. It's just unfortunate. But still, based on how she's been doing, comparatively to what would be offline and stuff, what she's capable of and buffs and everything, yeah. And especially, trans, what could happen in the future. Yeah, Violet's good. Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt. Yeah. Duck Hunt now compared to Smash 4 is much better, and Duck Hunt is consistent. Duck Hunt can deal damage. Duck Hunt struggles to kill. They just need to make Duck Hunt, his options to kill more consistent. And to do that, you just make his kill options better kill options, increase knockback or damage or something. His smash attacks are not incredibly consistent. You can somewhat smash DI, and you can mess him up a little bit. Like what they're going to do to your character, and you can survive. At the very least, if not get out of it completely. They need to make the smash attacks a little bit more consistent. Duck Hunt needs a kill throw, like a real kill throw. That's going to help a lot, I think. If they do that for him, that's the biggest buff they could give him if they give him a kill throw. I think maybe if they give Duck Hunt the second biggest buff, they can give him more hits done on maybe one or two of his stronger projectiles. That would help him because he can do more setups with shielding and maybe even get a shield break. That would help him a lot too. That would bring him probably up here with like Luigi maybe, or Wii Fit Trainer, just somewhere in here. That'd be good. Simply because he would be able to do a lot more of the setups. It's just being able to do that in general just means he's a lot more threatening and capable. So just stuff to consider is probably a lot more. If any players want to chime in who are experts with Duck Hunt or top players, just let me know. I think that'd be good to hear from you as well. Lucas is interesting because he's not in the same tier as Ness, but the reason that is because just results. He hasn't been and the same level of representation, even though he's extremely capable technically.
I should put him here because he's fully capable of doing this similar kind of things. He's has a kill throw, all this other stuff Ness has. It's just utilized differently. But I put him here again because of results and other things and current trends and what they could lead into. And I really think Ness is going to keep rising up, and Lucas might kind of. Ness is going to keep rising up, and I think Lucas will be kind of stagnant. Because Ness, with all the hype he gets and things, it's just going to keep rising. Maybe not in placement, but just with popularity. But Ness has very good things going for him, including a up special that has invincibility on the startup and can easily kill and break shields. That some people need to understand. His up special is incredibly good. And he can set up into it. He's like, I know people complain about PK Fire with Ness, but Lucas is meant to use his PK Fire for spacing or ledge guarding off stage. That's the main difference between Lucas and Ness. Lucas probably has a little bit better of a time doing the ledge guarding with his PK Thunder 2 off stage, because it not just only hits multiple times, but it can a lot more often cause players to do missed inputs as well. So as far as ledge guarding in general, as far as picking between Ness and Lucas, Lucas is a better choice. As far as neutral, Ness is a better choice. Because you could be a lot more aggressive with Ness. Lucas, you have to be a lot more passive, but you can be passive safely. And Ness, you can be aggressive safely for the most part too. So it's they allow you to play different play styles, so you can kind of play both characters. One is a main character, one is a secondary. That's kind of the idea between them. But again, they also both have combos and setups. Technically, I think Lucas does have a throw combo, kind of like I think Ness does. I think Lucas might still have like a down throw combo or something. And I could be wrong. If any Lucas experts want to come in and say what it is or what's actually what that'd be fine. But I'm pretty sure Lucas and Ness pretty much have throw combos that work against most of the cast to a degree. Yeah, Lucas, I would say if he needs a buff, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe like certain kill moves, maybe, because he does deal damage fine. I would say maybe a throw move, maybe. Smash attack skill just fine. Its tilts and jabs deal good enough damage. His up smash is perfectly good. Maybe throw move might be good to buff. That's one thing I could really think of. Other than that, I can't really think of anything. Let's see. It's going to Meta Knight. Right. So, in my opinion, even though Meta Knight was he was best character in Brawl, I think he's better in this game. And I'm saying balance-wise, yes, he could have been able to glide and stuff in this game, but I'm saying balancing-wise, it's better that the way they made him this way in this game, because imagine having characters like Charizard be able to glide like this in game, or Ridley, or Who else should I pick on here? Banjo, that'd be hilarious, or Falco, or yeah, even though Falco never did, I'm just saying Banjo, that'd be hilarious, or what else would be kind of funny here? Pit and Dark Pit could. They didn't put a lot of flying characters in this game compared to how many sword characters there are. Yeah. But I think my point here, like, it would be a weird kind of balancing thing, and that's because the gliding option allowed people to go under the stage, and camp under the stage instead of just camping on the stage, which is a huge difference. You can actually interact with someone camping on the stage versus, someone camping under the stage, which the only real character in Brawl able to hurt someone or interact with someone camping under the stage was Snake, because he could drop mines and place TNT, place landmines, drop C4, drop grenades, and that's the best chance. Anyone trying to actually go after under Meta Knight, for instance, got taken out because they not only weren't, it's not about the recovery, but they weren't able to compete against his speed, and he had enough power to deal with them too. So the fact they dealt with that kind of stuff. I think it was just a good idea to just remove that risk entirely. But yeah, I think the only thing Meta Knight kind of needs in general, though, because he has some kill options. He has a kill throw, but it takes too long. He can deal damage. I think the only kind of two things we can look at, I think, would be like his kill throw needs to be better. He needs to be more consistent with dealing damage. Maybe look at like helping him with some aerial moves, I guess, a little bit more. And I would also say it might be good to I guess the forward tilt's supposed to kill, but maybe actually like having it kill, because like a lot of times it won't kill. So maybe looking at things like that. I think that's kind of important for them to look at. Just touch up on things like that, because it says it's supposed to kill, but it really doesn't a lot of times. So I think then you look at things like that. The smash chain was when I say they a lot of times. But yeah, overall, he can't be scary to fight against. Also fight with, because he's a lightweight too. So ice climbers. We're talking about grapplers here, who also can do a lot of tricky things to do mix-ups. So in tournament style play, ice climbers will do something that will usually lead into a grab, and they get a combo from that will carry you off stage and to death, basically. That's usually what a good ice climbers player will do. I think. I'm trying to remember what his name was. He was a DDD name. A DDD main previously.
and then was doing really good with Ice Climbers, but or still is actually. Yeah, this character's good. Um, yeah, the main thing they had, or everyone had with Ice Climbers, is Nana, the computer here, was beyond the grabs, not, being a huge nerf the way they work in Ultimate. Excuse me. Nana is just extreme DI, and or I should say AD. And what I mean by that is extreme dumb, extremely AD, artificial dumb. She just, when you need help, or she's supposed to be the support character for you, she just, oh, you need help here. She just jumps off the stage and dies. It's like, great, thanks. And they fixed a lot of that. I think they also maybe buffed one move or something to make it on par with what it's supposed to be. I forget what it's just some things to help fix Ice Climbers, make Ice Climbers. But the problem is, which is what I'm pointing at here, is if you ever separate them, or especially if you ever kill one of them, that's you should be okay for the most part. You're gonna do much better in the matchup. It goes from like hardest difficulty possible to like normal difficulty, because your opponents could be having to try their absolute hardest just to not only stay in the match with that or that stock, for instance, but they're also going to have to do whatever it is they can possibly do whatever it takes to also take your stock with that one character, being Popo here. As unless you kill Popo, then they have to start over on the next stock. So yeah, basically, they would be higher obviously because of their potential and combos and everything, but as results have shown us, and that's why the results are important, and reality has shown us too, they're not consistent. And that's for balancing purposes. So we don't have like a melee situation or a brawl situation where they're infinite comboing people to death, if it's not with grabs, or just all grabs. Yeah, and that's why they're mid tier, probably no lower than mid tier, and the top of mid tier, because when I say that top of mid tier, I mean just this section here, because their consistency, and they technically could probably go a little higher than this, but there's certain things I'm going to go over on the next video over here in this section here, and go up to here as well, explain what's going on with that. But we're going to take it what we've got here and be done, and I will let you guys take time to comment, like, subscribe, let me know what you think. If you have any input or anything that's helpful, of course, it's great. If you want to check out my other videos, it'd be awesome. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye.